After being a workhorse in the Australian aviation sector for over 24 years, the Boeing 717's time flying paying passengers not only in Australia but outside the US has come to an end. Join me as I take the second to last flight on the Boeing 717 outside the US, and also see the very last one depart. Welcome to Launceston Airport, Tasmania's second busiest airport. I actually just arrived off of another flight, but I thought that the Qantas lounge was landside here, because that's what it seemed to say online. I would later find out that this is not the case. But anyway, at least I get to show you the check-in area, which is relatively small, so it's easy to find your airline. It seemed like you used the self-check-in kiosks to get your baggage tags, and if you're not flying Qantas, then boarding passes, and then you can go up to the counter to check in your baggage. Qantas did have a priority desk. I just had carry-on though, and already had my mobile boarding pass, so I didn't end up doing anything there. Security screening here seems to have pretty advanced automation, but there was a mini rush when I went through, so it wasn't that quick. Launceston Airport's terminal was redeveloped in 2009, so the terminal is still looking relatively modern. I believe in recent years, new security screening technology was installed, among other improvements and changes. I think one of these included moving the entrance to the Qantas Regional Lounge, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Airside, it's a pretty open space, and the windows provide a fantastic runway and tarmac view. Some other things here include 3 places to get something to eat or drink, a retail store, and this plane. With my Qantas Gold status, I'm able to access the Qantas Regional Lounge. Let's take a quick look. By the way, you'll need a code to enter this lounge, which you apparently got from Qantas staff. But since I hadn't interacted with any, I didn't have one. So I was lucky that there was someone else going in at the same time I wanted to, which saved me potentially having to go back to check in. Anyway, this lounge is really small. I believe there was complimentary Wi-Fi, there was also bathrooms. The lounge isn't always staffed, so everything is self-serve. The self-serve bar service, I believe, was available from 12 PM. Otherwise, there's a selection of cold drinks in a fridge, as well as a machine of sorts, which I think was a milk frother, but it was a bit confusing, and a lot of people were confused about how to use the coffee pods. I also couldn't see any milk for the milk frother. I think that's what it was, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, then there was just a small selection of packeted snacks, including little slices, cheese and crackers, pretzels, and some other mixed thing. The space doesn't have a great vibe. The lounge also just feels a bit old and run down. The history of the Boeing 717 dates back to 1963, when Douglas Aircraft launched the DC-9 series with a completely new design featuring 2 rear fuselage mounted jet engines. Built off the success of it was the MD-80 series. A roughly 100-seater version of these airplanes was considered on and off, with its name going from the DC-9-90 to the MD-87-105, and then in 1991, the development of the MD-95, a successor to the DC-9, was announced. The aircraft was first offered for sale in 1994, and for the first 2 years, the only airline which had ordered the aircraft was the new US low-cost carrier ValueJet, that ordered 50 of the type in 1995. When McDonnell Douglas was acquired by Boeing in 1997, it was expected that the MD-95 program would be cancelled. However, the plan went ahead under the new name, the Boeing 717. Assembly started in that same year, with the aircraft taking flight in 1998. Also in 1998, the Boeing 717 finally received another order, this time from TWA for 50 of the type. In 1999, the first Boeing 717 was delivered to AirTran, formerly ValueJet. In year 2000, Australian airline Impulse Airlines got a long-term lease for 5 Boeing 717s. When Qantas bought Impulse Airlines in 2001, it was pleased with the abilities of the Boeing 717, and so ordered more to replace its fleet of BAE 146 aircraft. Both Hawaiian and Midwest Airlines also ended up buying the aircraft. Citing a lack of sales, Boeing announced it would end production of the Boeing 717 once all outstanding orders were completed, and the last 717 was delivered in 2006, after a total of 156 of the type had been built. The Boeing 717-200 was the only passenger 717 variant, though the 717-300 was considered at one point. The Boeing 717 was actually the first aircraft that Jetstar operated. QantasLink had 20 Boeing 717s at the start of 2023, but now having operated its last flight with the Boeing 717, just Hawaiian Airlines and Delta still operate the aircraft. More than half of the Boeing 717s built are still in service. The last Boeing 717, which as of now was the last in commercial service outside the United States, is Victor Hotel Yankee Quebec Sierra, a 2004 built Boeing 717-2BL delivered new to Midwest Airlines. It made its way to Mexicana Click in 2009 before spending a couple years in storage from 2011 until 2013, when it made its way over to QantasLink, operated by National Jet Systems. The aircraft is wearing the QantasLink version of the Silveroo livery, Qantas' newest standard livery. I was surprised at how much of a big deal was being made out of the second last flight. It's a big deal to me, but I wasn't expecting a water cannon salute for the aircraft's arrival, nor was I expecting 7 News to be on the plane. When I went down to the boarding gate, there was so many people taking photos of the plane and just talking to fellow avgeeks about it. The staff were also very well aware of it, and a lot seemed a bit emotional about it, which was really cool to see.
Travelling to Sydney on flight QF 1562, this service will be shortly at gates 3 and 4. Today you may notice some fanfare around this aircraft. It is in fact our last ever Boeing 717 service from Launceston, the second last flight of this aircraft today. Last flight of this flight will be Sydney through to Canberra this afternoon. So a memorable moment for all of us here at Qantas, for the staff at the airport and the crew involved. We do hope you enjoy this special service through to Sydney. Please cherish this iconic moment as much as all of the staff here at Launceston have done over the past 23 years. Thank you.
I wouldn't say it was the smoothest boarding experience, since the focus was more on taking the photos and enjoying some of the last moments of the Boeing 717. Farewell Boeing 717 plastic flags.
Hello.
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. We're handed out to some of the first passengers that boarded, myself included. For the last time, welcome on board a QantasLink Boeing 717. This one is in a 2-class configuration, with 3 rows of business class in a 2-2 layout, with a total of 12 seats, followed by 98 economy class seats in a 2-3 layout. My seat for this flight will be 18A. Not long before the flight, I had the option to pick a bulkhead window seat free of charge. No thanks, I would much rather get to see the engine and hear its incredible sound. Now, let's take a quick look at the seat features. There's a nice adjustable headrest. The recline seemed decent. Legroom was pretty standard. I think it's generally 30 to 31 inches. From memory, it felt more like 30 on this seat, to me at least. There's a seat back pocket for your personal items. There's also a tray table. And here's the literature compartment. Up here, you'll find a tablet holder. And there's the overhead bin.
Cabin crew, please prepare for departure. Welcome everyone, I'm Cody, your team leader. Joining me in the cabin today we have the wonderful crew of Gemma and Susanna. Your captain is Peter Tink, accompanied by First Officer Alexander Banks. Welcome aboard this QantasLink flight through to Sydney today. Today we mark the end of an era. This is the final flight of our beloved 717s from Launceston. After years of reliable service, this aircraft has safely carried thousands of customers to and from Tasmania, and it is a bittersweet moment for us all. We're excited to share that from tomorrow, all flights from Launceston will be operated by a brand new state-of-the-art Airbus A220. The A220 offers a new level of comfort, efficiency and enhanced onboard experiences. Please place larger bags in the overhead lockers and smaller bags underneath the seat in front of you.
Good afternoon everyone, this is your Captain Pete Tink. On behalf of First Officer Alex Banks, welcome on board this QantasLink service to Sydney on the Boeing 717 BL. As Cody mentioned, today's a special day for this aircraft type, and just to let you know, to mark the occasion, the Airport Rescue Firefighting Service will be conducting a water cannon salute as we taxi out for this departure. So please enjoy the moment. Thank you.
We greatly appreciate your attention as the cabin crew take you through the safety features of this aircraft for our final time. Thank you.
Attention for an important safety briefing. Every aircraft is different, so it's important to pay attention even if you have flown with us before. Today you're flying on a QantasLink Boeing 717. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the clasp into the buckle and tighten by pulling the strap. Undo your seatbelt by lifting the flap. You must have your seatbelt done up, low and tight, during takeoff, landing, and whenever the seatbelt sign is on. While seated at other times, keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected turbulence. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you should be familiar with the brace position appropriate to your seat. If you can reach the seat in front of you, brace by placing your forehead on the back of the seat in front. Hold your lower legs or put your hands on your knees. If you can't reach the seat in front, put your head on your knees or lean as far forward as you can and hold onto your lower legs. Keep your feet firmly on the floor. This aircraft has 7 emergency exits, 2 at the front of the cabin, 4 over the wings, and 1 at the rear of the aircraft. Be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. A good way of remembering your nearest exit is to count the number of rows between you and that exit. The crew are pointing out floor lighting that will illuminate in darkness, showing a path to the exit. All exits are indicated by an exit sign. This aircraft is fitted with escape slides which the crew will operate in an emergency. If we do have to evacuate, you must leave all items carried onto the aircraft behind. A loss of oxygen at altitude may lead to a loss of consciousness. If emergency oxygen is required, a mask will drop from above you. Pull down on it firmly to activate the flow of oxygen. Put it on quickly and tighten the strap. Oxygen will flow without the bag inflating. Your crew member is now demonstrating how to put your life jacket on. Remove the life jacket from the pouch by pulling the tab. Put the jacket over your head. pass the strap around your waist, clip at the front, and then tighten. Back is upright, tray table is stowed, and window shade is open. Respectful and positive environment for everyone on board by respecting each other and our crew. Remember, the cabin crew are here for your safety. Please follow their instructions at all times. Thank you.
With the engines started up, it's now time to taxi straight out of the stand, about 5 minutes behind schedule. I got a bit confused about getting a water cannon salute, as I thought they said we would in the PA, but we didn't. It's now time for takeoff on runway 32 left. For me, taking off on these planes never gets old. The 717 is known for its steep climbing capabilities, and you do notice that.
The seatbelt sign is now off, however for your safety it is best to keep it fastened whenever you are seated. Today in the main cabin we'll be serving you a full flight snack with a selection of beverages. For your comfort on today's flight, if you're in the main cabin between rows 4 and 23, you'll find the toilet at the rear of the aircraft. Once again, it's a pleasure having you on board with us today.
Again, welcome on board this QantasLink service to Sydney. At the moment we're just climbing to our cruising level 33,000 feet. We do have a little bit of a tailwind helping us along today, so we should have you disembarking about 10 minutes ahead of schedule at 4 p.m. And it's a lovely afternoon in Sydney. Clear skies, 18 degrees, and a light wind from the south. And finally, I'd like to make another special mention to this aircraft, the Boeing 717, also
was a refreshment service on this flight, so a light snack and a great selection of drinks. If you're enjoying this video so far, please consider liking and subscribing. I've put a lot of work into getting this video out as soon as possible while still trying to keep it good quality. It would help out the channel a lot and I would appreciate it very much, but if you don't want to, that's okay too. The snack served on today's flight was corn chips with salsa, as well as some other little nibbly things. I'm not sure what they're called. That was all tasty, and I paired this with a ginger beer. The drinks selection included juice, soft drinks, and tea and coffee, as well as water, obviously. I imagine alcohol was available as well. Full disclosure, after the service, I did ask one of the crew if they minded being in a YouTube video. So after this, my cover was blown, but this video is more about the 717 than a Qantas review anyway, as not all Qantas flights will be like this.
We're on downwind, and nice view at the left-hand side of the city as we line up with the runway. We should be disembarking again about 10 minutes ahead of schedule at 4 PM, currently 19 degrees clear skies in Sydney. And I'd just like to mention again a special thanks to the crew today. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
After what seemed like no time at all, we started our descent into Sydney.
It is now time to put all laptop computers and any other large devices away.
I had an incredible and very memorable experience on board this flight, which was made ever special by the crew and just the atmosphere with all of the avgeeks around. The crew on today's flight were amazing, by the way. I do like the A220, and for the everyday passenger, in most ways it does offer a superior experience. But I will most certainly miss the Boeing 717, and I get why it is, but I do wish it didn't have to be retired. I'd love to hear about your experiences on the Boeing 717 in the comments. We'll soon pull into the gate in Sydney, about 10 minutes early, but for now, please enjoy the rest of the beautiful approach and landing on Sydney Kingsford Smith International Airport's runway 16 right, and stay tuned to see this plane depart with paying passengers for the very last time, and also to see the cockpit.
Sydney. QantasLink would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the airport's land, the Gamagal people belonging to Bondi Bay. We pay our respects to elders past and present. The local time is 3:55 p.m. Please remain seated with your seatbelt firmly fastened until the seatbelt sign is off. Today we'll be exiting through the forward door, so please mind your step as you exit the aircraft. And if you are leaving us here in Sydney, your bags will be available in the baggage claim area, so please check the screens in the arrivals hall. Qantas operates from 2 terminals at Sydney Airport, and today we'll be arriving at Terminal 3. If you can't reach your phone, you can turn off flight mode now. On behalf of all of us here at QantasLink and OneWorld, we thank you for choosing to fly with us today on this large Boeing 717 service out of Launceston. If you are visiting Sydney, we hope you enjoy your stay, and of course those returning, a very warm welcome home. Thank you and have a lovely weekend.
I'm going to go try and get photos.
Yeah, yeah, come through please. So sorry about that, it was so hectic on here. Thank you so much guys. So sorry guys. I don't know, I took it. I just took mine, they gave it to me, I said yeah, I'll take it.
All of the hype around the Boeing 717 caused a delay for the flights to Canberra from here in Sydney. So many people wanted to get their photos here.
Does it surprise you that there's such a it's an inanimate object?
You know what, it doesn't surprise me at all. There are so many people who know these aircraft so well that it really has made a big difference to Australian aviation. And there's many people who just love what we have to offer. And there's so many people out here just want to
Thank you, I'll see you soon.
I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I'd also like to thank you all for your patience with getting this video out. In hindsight, it was very ambitious to think I could get this out yesterday, but Jetstar certainly didn't help. Anyway, I'd also like to thank all of my incredible Patreons for helping to make these videos possible. Their support truly means so much to me. Also, shout out to the amazing crew on this flight. And with that, it's the end of an era in the Australian aviation industry, with that takeoff being the last 717 takeoff in Australia carrying paying passengers. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one next Saturday at 5 PM Melbourne time. Farewell, QantasLink Boeing 717, and thank you for all of the memories.